Hello, everybody. It's your girl, Imani P from the DMV. You already know where I'm at. You already know where I be, you know? And welcome to my channel, imaniversus, where I talk about music, culture, and more. Today, we're going to be talking about the sophomore slump, or the sophomore jitters, the sophomore jinx, whatever you want to call it today. We're going to call it the slump today because we slump ass niggas. Let's get started. So, once again, if I'm looking down, I'm reading this young definition because I do my research on this young channel. All right, so the sophomore slump is an instance in which a second or sophomore album effort fails to live up to a relatively high standards of the first album. Now, y'all, who does that remind you of? I have a few examples here. The Imani terms. The sophomore slump is just usually when an artist gets to the sophomore album and it doesn't live up to their first album. It's just really trash. The sales aren't as good, and people just don't like either how mainstream they get or how boring they get, or the album is just trash overall. So I have three examples that we can talk about. And there is cases where an artist goes through the sophomore slump, like Rick Ross on his second album, Trilla, but somehow garner up a hit song off of that. And we can talk about it in another video. First album I want to talk about or artist I want to talk about is Big Sean, who is an American rapper from Detroit, Michigan. And he had a second album called Hall of Fame, which came after his first album, Finally Famous, and just relatively came after all his mixtapes, the Finally Famous series. Now, I listened to that album when it came out. The album was exquisite assay. Like, it was exquisite trash. It was terrible. Like, the album was so bad. It was mad long, firstly. None of the songs connected with me or any people that listened to it in general. And the album was just everywhere. There was a lot of skits on there. He was trying to do something different, having skits on it, like how Biggie Smalls had it. But it just wasn't, it wasn't him. The album was just really trash. He had a mixtape called Detroit that came out before that album. And I feel like Detroit should have been his album because that mixtape was good as hell, okay? B.O.B. So if y'all remember B.O.B. before he became a conspiracy theorist, he's an American rapper from Decatur, Georgia. He's a rapper, songwriter, producer, conspiracy theorist from Decatur, Georgia. Like, that's where he's from, like I just said. He had an album that had came out called The Adventures of Bobby Ray. Now, that album did really well, and it charted all over the pop charts. He had songs with Bruno Mars, and he was just like this new, like, flow rider type rapper where he just raps over pop beats. But I feel like he was more offended that the black community did not like him and was not really feeling him, and said that he made music for white people. When he came into his sophomore album, Strange Clouds, he tried to be more hip hop. He tried to show off that I'm a rapper. I rap. I'm in hip hop culture. It's me. And it didn't work. It didn't work because Strange Clouds, first of all, didn't perform well. Second of all, it was trash. And third of all, Nicki Minaj stood him up on his own song, but she was standing up everybody on their own songs back then anyway. But still, the album wasn't good. The black community still didn't accept him. I didn't like the album. I liked that he showed off more of a hip hop side and that he was rapping more on it. But the album in general just didn't have any songs that I really liked other than Strange Clouds. And that song was like a 5 out of 10 anyway. But, you know, nowadays he just be conspiracy theorists on Instagram. So you should go check him out and see how he's doing, you know? The third artist I want to talk about that encountered a sophomore slump is it's a fan favorite on this channel and in this world, Wale, who is an American rapper from the District of Columbia, the capital of this entire country that I am from, unfortunately. And the second album was called Ambition. Now, I loved Ambition. I still do very much love Ambition. This album came after his first album, Attention Deficit, which was a really good album as well. And Ambition really swept the radio charts. I think he got a Grammy nomination for one of the songs on there. He had Miguel on there, and that one chick that got mad because Rihanna's remix was better on there. He had Rick Ross because he finally signed to Maybach Music Group, then MMG. And the album was good. I loved it very much. Loved the promotion behind it. Everything was very good. Wale is that boy. But there is a group of people in the hip hop community that did not like the album, even though the album performed well. There's a lot of people that felt as though Wale's second album was a MMG compilation album, which is Maybach Music Group. They just felt there was too much Rick Ross and there was too much Meek Mill, too much Stolly, which is too much MMG stuff and not enough Wale. And they felt that he became way too mainstream. I think they're wrong. They are wrong. Cause I like that mother having album. I like that album. But hey, he did encounter the sophomore slump in a way. And those are just 3 examples that I have. There's way more artists that have encountered the sophomore slump. And if you know of any, comment down below and I can talk about them in a future video. I just want to thank you all for coming and watching and appreciating this young video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you share the video. And I will see you very soon. You know why? Because I'm that girl.